Yo, today we are going over 4 different ways you can build your freestyle up in your dance. Number 1 is going to be your vocabulary. Vocabulary is essential to develop to better express and communicate through your movement what it is you're looking to say. Developing vocabulary in your dance starts with understanding your body, which can expand your dance in your overall movement. Understanding how to incorporate arms, torso movement, footwork patterns, just different foundational movements that you can apply within a style. This aspect of the dance is essential to be able to properly communicate what it is you would like to say within your round that can propel your dance forward to build up your freestyle. I know I talk about vocabulary a lot when we cover different dancers, and it's just something that's mandatory when you want to be able to express yourself to a particular point where it resonates, where it demonstrates skill. It demonstrates the ability to showcase something far beyond the surface. Typically, when we're watching someone's round and I'm emphasizing vocabulary, it's because the way someone can flesh out something when they're sitting in a particular pocket, particularly maybe it could be a certain position, maybe it could be a specific angle, and the degree of difficulty or the uniqueness of that position would typically make it to where it creates some type of impact because it's unfamiliar to you. But the difference between you and someone else is the fact that when people usually get there, they don't have enough vocabulary to be able to expand upon that position and say more things without having to move to something more comfortable, more natural, where you're usually upright. Maybe you're in a position where you've gotten to a place naturally within your freestyle, but you don't want to just abandon it. You want to be able to continue to elaborate within what you're saying through your dance. And having vocabulary is just essential because you want to be able to properly communicate to the people who are watching what it is you would like to say within this position, showing them all the different versatility you have, showing all the different variations and steps, showing that you can still maintain the consistency that you had throughout your round while in this particular position. That's why I find vocabulary to be super essential when you're trying to flesh out a style, when you're trying to showcase a style, represent the style. The more you're able to speak, the more you're able to convey what it is you feel or maybe what you would like to say through your dance. Number 2, we're talking about rhythm. Now, as you expand your vocabulary, you'll begin to form a harmony between your movement and the music by understanding the beats. The more you understand rhythm, the easier it'll make your choices to be able to insert your movement into the music. A very basic and simple way to attach your movement to the music would be following the 2s and 4s, which makes it a lot easier also for the audience to be able to understand what it is you're doing to the music. However, to create a change in your rhythm, begin by understanding the beat patterns within the tempo and change the placement of your movement throughout the music. This change can be constant and will create a change in the rhythm of your movement. The thing that stands out the most to me when a person is able to demonstrate rhythm at a high level, it's just that IQ. It's the ability of choice. I'm able to really see a person calculate and precisely look at different pockets of the music to then see where their movement would make the most sense. And it's not done from a subconscious state of mind. It's not done from a vantage point of like just doing something impactful for the sake of doing something impactful, like a backflip or just some crazy move. It's the idea that when I'm breaking down all the different layers of rhythm and I'm able to dissect my movement, I'm able to look at different things precisely and implement my movement in a much more accurate way to then have real impact in a round. I think that's far more important to me to really tell how in tune someone is, not only to their movement, but to the music. And the music is primary. The music is primary. I would have had this one first before the vocabulary because to me, it's still very important to be connected to the music. But they form a harmony. Like I said, you have to be able to have something to say when you're feeling or connecting to the music. If you don't, you just out there shaking, you out there twitching, you doing something, but it's not really clear on what that is because you don't have enough of your vocabulary fleshed out. But the more you spend time with rhythm, and the more you're able to see it when you're evaluating different dancers, the more you'll be able to fully understand how impactful, how important it is to understand rhythm. Now for number 3, we're going to talk about transitions. You can improve your transitions by focusing on how you begin seamlessly connecting your movement and changes from one position to another. The goal here is to make it look as natural as possible. Your movement should start to make sense for how you went from one position or location to the next as you're constructing your round. Simplifying your movement and improving awareness of placements can help you better understand what you're doing within your transitions and provide more clarity to get you from point A to point B. Now, usually I emphasize point A and point B to give more of an understanding visually of your destination or the progression of your movement. When you're focusing on something from point A to point B, you're looking at it to say, when I was here and I gravitated to here, what exactly am I doing? And how many different ways can I create a variation of what that was when I go from point A to point B? Now, when you're evaluating that and you're looking at the transition, you're trying to then take into consideration what exactly are you doing? What part of your body is being utilized? What aspects of your dance are you incorporating from this transition? And what makes sense to now connect or build up the layers of what it is you started with? Maybe it's something simplistic. And as you gravitate to point B, what is it that you can now change to make it to where you did it this way the first time? Now you're building familiarity within that step, but now your creativity process also grows because you're trying to see beyond what it is you initially did. And now that you're doing that, it's creating this openness to now see, well, what if I do it like this? Well, what if I transition from this and this? Well, what does it look like now if I'm going to use this particular step, but I'm going to use my upper body with this, or maybe this angle with my tut, or maybe this position with the wave? You're now trying to flesh out those transitions, and you're trying to do so to build your movement up to create enough versatility, which connects to your vocabulary. So it is very important within your practices, within your labs, to be able to dedicate time to that. And we will focus on a video that really breaks down sessions versus labs. So you want to subscribe, you want to get connected to what we're building here, because I want to be able to flesh these topics out more. So then that way we can build a proper understanding of how you can go about bettering your dance. But transitions are extremely important when you're looking to communicate what it is you're saying within your dance as you're building up the freestyle within your round. And lastly, number 4, we'll be talking about coordination. Now, coordination also has an interesting role. Everything covered thus far has been addressed as an individual component, but you'll need to begin synchronizing your movement and have everything function as one. Having proper coordination within your movement can further demonstrate a degree of difficulty in unison throughout your round. Developing your coordination gives you alternatives and structure to consider when deciding how you would like to build up your freestyle in your dance. And it's the idea that making everything combine become one is super important, because the ideas of how you look at your practice and how isolated things can be, essentially at one point, you're going to have to start bringing everything together. It's what makes everything look good as a whole. When you look at the big picture and you really take into consideration the overall scope of your dance, it's the idea of how well everything is coordinated. It's the idea that you can do all these things of what is specified, especially when covering rhythm or vocabulary. It's the idea that how well is this all coordinated into one? Because it's not the idea that when you showcase something to me that you're just going to do the individual component without really having any layer to it. It's the idea that you have to bring everything. You have to bring everything together. And then once you are able to demonstrate that, once you are able to coordinate everything within your dance also becomes 1,000% clear. The clarity is on point, because now we can see not only do you have an understanding within the vocabulary, not only do you have an understanding within rhythm, you even know how to transition. It's the idea that you are able to bring it all into one and coordinate everything appropriately. The coordination, I think, is one of the most important things, just because it shows a level of mastery, like I specified in terms of the degree of difficulty, to really showcase you have a full understanding of how to put all this stuff together. That makes up the overall scope of your dance. So hopefully this was able to help somebody. You guys can leave a comment. Let me know maybe other things that you would like to improve upon within your dance. I know I have more videos that I'm going to be making where I'm going to be talking about different things, as I already said, even talking about labs versus sessions. We're going to be talking about the flow state. We'll be talking about different aspects of, just things in general, to talk about terminologies, to talk about different things that we're going to be focusing on to better serve you guys who are trying to get better within your dance. So drop a comment, get involved. If you would like to be a part of the Palace community within my Discord, I'll leave the link below the like button so you can go ahead and click that. And otherwise, go ahead and subscribe for more content. I'm going to see y'all when I see y'all. Y'all be easy. Peace.